A grave warning ahead of the next round of climate negotiations at Bonn in Germany. Two reports within 24 hours brought out the impact of climate change on people's health. Now, according to the study published in The Lancet, climate change has increased the spread of diseases, caused massive crop and job losses over the last 25 years. It says an additional 125 million people were exposed to heat wave each year from 2000 to 2016. India alone, indoor air pollution killed 1.24 lakh people in 2015, more than what terrorism and natural calamities have claimed. As many as 1.8 lakh deaths were also linked to fine pollutants emitted from coal power plants and also other industries in India in this period. Calling for immediate governmental action, scientists have pointed out how human life and livelihood stands threatened due to climate change. The study was carried out by 24 groups, including universities, the World Bank and the World Health Organization. The report comes ahead of the November 6th meeting in Bonn, which is the first multilateral meeting ever since US President Donald Trump weakened the global battle against climate change by pulling out of the 2015 Paris Pact. Earlier, the World Meteorological Organization came out with a report that pointed out how the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere rose to levels not seen in 8 lakh years in 2016. Based on the measurements carried out in 51 countries, scientists say rising carbon dioxide levels are making it much more difficult to meet global climate control targets. Apart from carbon dioxide, there's also a spurt in gases such as methane and nitrous oxide in the atmosphere. Scientists also say the last time the Earth experienced such a concentration of carbon dioxide was in fact, the mid-Pliocene era and some 3 million years ago. So how is climate change affecting our planet now? Take a look at this report.
On average, global temperatures have already increased by 0.8 degrees Celsius since the onset of industrialization. The concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is at its highest level for at least 800,000 years. Depending on how we manage future emissions, thermometers could climb by another 5 degrees by 2100, which would have a devastating impact on life on Earth. Even in the most optimistic scenarios, the acceleration of global warming threatens available resources of drinking water and food security for millions of people. Production of the world's 4 major food crops, wheat, maize, rice and soybean, will be reduced. And yet by 2050, food production will need to be doubled to feed the 9 billion people populating the planet. Simultaneously, 20 to 30% of animal and vegetable species are facing extinction because temperatures are changing too fast for them to be able to adapt. Sea level is predicted to rise between 26 and 98 centimetres by the end of the century due to melting glaciers and thermal expansion of ocean water. This is likely to trigger large-scale migrations of people around the world currently living in low-lying river deltas. Even a 30-centimetre increase could considerably aggravate extreme climatic events. Freshwater reserves held in glaciers will become scarcer and river flow will diminish, leading to a knock-on effect on hydroelectric production and agriculture. Oceans will continue to acidify, and climate-driven migration of fish stocks towards freshwater will have an impact on fishing zones, depriving certain populations of an essential food source. The cumulative effects of global warming will also exacerbate violent conflicts in certain countries over territorial water supplies. Many of these impacts may already be locked in because CO2 lingers in the atmosphere for centuries, but the full scope and impact of these changes depends upon the choices made now.